Under Ms. Derevyanko's supervision, the EBA has quadrupled its size and is now the largest association for foreign businesses in Ukraine, with over 900 member companies. Ms. Derevyanko, please come welcome.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I would like to thank Norwegian-Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce for inviting me here and also for raising this interest towards Ukraine and its challenges and its opportunities. I would like to say that I was really impressed by the words of your foreign minister, Brende. He was actually fully correct in terms of all the sayings and all the things which he talked about regarding Ukraine. I fully subscribe to that. And I think that governance, which he mentioned, and also weak judiciary system, are the ones or are the key problems which now Ukraine challenges and actually addresses, and which needs to be changed in order to grow further. Probably these two things and two problems explain why Norway, for example, takes the first place in terms of prosperity in the world and in terms of quality of life and comfort living, and why Ukraine is yet on the 17th place. Not 17th, but 70, so 70 in the world. So I think that actually everything has its minuses and pluses, both Norwegian place and also Ukrainian place. And I would like to concentrate more on the positive sides of the country. First of all, when I was coming here, I was thinking what to tell you, because actually majority of you probably most likely are working in Ukraine already. And you know pretty well, or you worked there, and you know pretty well what's happening in Ukraine. Ukraine is going under difficult timing now. It's historical time. But nevertheless, I think that nowadays it's really time to invest in Ukraine. Minister of Agriculture has pretty well described actually opportunities in agricultural sector, but I would not limit only on that. I would like to give you 3 reasons why you would need to think about actually investing in the country. The first reason is that potential for investments is huge. The potential for growth is huge because we have nowadays a huge delayed demand for products and services. Devaluation in the country was actually quite significant, as Minister explained 3 times, which makes the life for people and purchasing power of people dropping down. It means that nowadays, probably most likely, people do not buy that much, but nevertheless in the future they will definitely do. So you need to be prepared already now for this growing demand for products and services. The second reason why is because of this devaluation, the cost of labor has gone down. And basically with proximity to European Union and with opportunities inside the country, you can really use Ukraine as an opportunity for production. Because people are really well educated, they are hard working, they would like to live well, so they will help your businesses to develop at a very competitive price. So it will be really very good to have business either in Western Ukraine or in Central Ukraine, because the war touched only eastern part of the Ukraine, and it's small part nowadays. Then, so that is why I believe it's really time to consider this kind of argument to build those production sites which would be concentrated not only to the local market serving, but also serving of the European markets. And the third reason why is actually technologies and innovation. Norway is obviously very strong in these areas, and Ukraine has lots of potential of professional people in this area to work with. On annual basis, Ukraine raises 16,000 students in IT sphere, which could be used for your potential. Nowadays, many IT companies have already settled in Ukraine, converting it into one of the biggest IT sectors and IT outsourcing database in Europe, and not, in the world even. But nevertheless, nowadays, of course, there are challenges for IT business, because you probably read in the news that sometimes tax authorities are actually making some checkups and inspections in IT firms. But I think it is those things which could be resolved, because government is really open for making those things resolved. So I would not be frightened because of those actually bad news which are appearing. On the contrary, I would actually invest more and use more of this potential in IT and technology sphere. So I would not actually go further with reasons, with next reasons, because of course we can enlist more of them. But nevertheless, I think that you should know that Ukraine is changing. Because currently from outside, it may seem that Ukraine doesn't change. Everything remains the same. We see all the same problems with corruption in place and actually a lack of political will probably most likely. But at the same time, I'd like you to know that society has changed tremendously already in the country. And society is something which will put Ukraine forward. It will push politicians to make those things which should be done. And by the way, Marshall Plan from business could be actually foreign direct investments, because we cannot ask the governments for money, I mean, from business point of view. We can help with our capitals, with our knowledge, with our technologies, with our expertise to help Ukrainian market to grow. Currently, foreign direct investments are constituting only 1% of Ukrainian GDP. But we have potential to grow 10 times minimum. So my plea for you would be to really think about Ukraine as your potential destination, to invest more. We see inside Ukraine that many Ukrainians are opening creative businesses in the country. And it is startups, it is restaurants, servicing businesses. They're doing well in spite of those challenges which are currently persistent. And I think that you should not miss this chance to be inside Ukraine, to be with Ukraine, to grow. And I think your expertise, your knowledge will help us to be successful and prosperous. We have new governments now, new faces in the governments, which are pretty committed. We see new ministers, we see new business people in the government who are pushing this country forward. Sometimes we feel impatient, but nevertheless we have to understand Ukraine is a young country. It is 25 years old, and it will grow for sure. We just to wait a little bit. And it will come. Myself, I'm Ukrainian. I'm also impatient, like everybody in Ukraine probably, most likely. But nevertheless, I ask myself, please calm down and understand that even if you grow your own business, it takes minimum 2, 3, 5 years to be successful. We are talking about the whole country, and we need to be patient, and we need to give this chance to Ukraine to develop and be successful. Thank you.